If being around a cat makes you feel calmer than being around most people, that's probably not a coincidence. And no, it doesn't mean you're distant. It doesn't mean you're cold. It doesn't mean you don't like affection. In fact, for a lot of people, loving cats has very little to do with personality stereotypes. It has a lot more to do with how their nervous system experiences the world. Some people feel good in high-energy environments, enjoying constant interaction, quick feedback, and obvious affection. That kind of energy feels alive to them. But other people don't regulate that way. For them, too much noise, too much emotion, too much intensity, even when it's loving, can feel exhausting. Not because they don't care, not because they don't want connection, but because their system is already working overtime. They notice everything: the tone in your voice, the shift in the room, the pressure to respond the right way, the expectation to match someone else's energy. And after a while, that kind of constant emotional management gets tiring. That's why cats feel different. A cat doesn't usually rush in and demand your full attention. It doesn't need you to perform warmth every second. It doesn't expect you to explain your mood, reassure it constantly, or prove your love on command. It simply exists near you, and somehow that changes everything. Because for people who spend most of the day overstimulated, overthinking, self-monitoring, or emotionally bracing for the next demand, a cat's presence can feel like permission to finally exhale. No pressure, no performance, no emotional crowding. Just quiet companionship, and that's a kind of safety many people don't realize they've been craving. A lot of people assume cat lovers prefer cats because they're more independent, and maybe that's true. But I think the deeper reason is this: cats model a kind of connection that doesn't feel invasive. They come close when they want to. They leave when they want to. When they sit next to you, it feels chosen, not forced. And when they walk away, it doesn't come with guilt, conflict, or emotional punishment. That kind of relationship is incredibly meaningful for people who are sensitive to pressure. Because human relationships, even loving ones, can sometimes come with hidden demands. Reply faster, be more expressive, show more enthusiasm, need me the way I need you, prove that you care. Cats don't really work like that. Their affection is subtle, quiet, unscripted. And maybe that's why it feels so real. If a cat curls up beside you, rests on your lap, or chooses to sleep near you, it doesn't feel like a social obligation. It feels like trust. Not loud trust. Not dramatic trust, but calm, undeniable trust. And for some people, that kind of affection lands deeper than the loud kind ever could. Because it says, I'm here because I want to be, not because I need something from you. Not because you performed correctly, not because you earned approval, just because I feel safe here. And maybe that's what cat people connect with most. Not just the cuteness, not just the personality, but the emotional atmosphere. Cats don't confuse intensity with intimacy. They don't force closeness. They don't turn connection into pressure. They make space for it. So if you've ever felt strangely understood by a cat, if their presence makes your body slow down, if being near one feels more restful than most conversations, there may be nothing wrong with you at all. You may not be detached. You may not be antisocial. You may not even be hard to love. You may simply be someone whose nervous system feels safest around gentleness, quiet, and boundaries. And that's why cats matter so much. Because sometimes healing doesn't look like excitement. Sometimes it looks like sitting in silence next to a living creature that asks almost nothing from you, and somehow makes you feel less alone anyway. So no, loving cats isn't just a quirky preference. For some people, it's a reflection of the kind of connection their body trusts most: calm, respectful, low pressure, and real. And maybe that's why a cat can do something so many people can't. It can sit beside you, say almost nothing, and still make the whole world feel a little quieter.